Yo, what is up, guys? Today we're gonna be looking at this new open world action game that apparently wants to do everything. That's gonna come out maybe in the future. We'll see. Let's get into it.
Man, guys, have you seen that new game, Crimson Desert? Looks incredible.
All right, called Crimson Desert.
It's gonna be the best new IP ever. It's originally meant as a spin-off from Black Desert Online, and it's got characters from that game in it and everything. Okay, so it's not exactly a new IP, but it is looking impressive as hell from the preview footage that is out there. Hi, folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, let's talk about an open world action game
I've seen something like this.
that could be the next big.
It's free falling as if it's what is that? I forgot the game, but there's like an open world zombie game that you start off by free falling from the sky.
IP. So, if you haven't heard of Crimson Desert, strap in because there's a whole lot to talk about. Crimson Desert has had a long and tumultuous development cycle, but
It looks decently flashy, I'm not gonna lie about that.
in its final current form, it is a single player open world action RPG. And
Oh, it's a single player. Okay, that changes everything. I like my single player open world.
very ambitious one at that. There's a lot of ingredients in the gaming soup. I'm talking some Elden Ring, some Witcher 3, a heaping helping of Dragon's Dogma 2, or I guess it's
Okay.
been in development long enough that it's probably drawing from Dragon's Dogma 1, but also throw in some Tears of the Kingdom. Why not?
Wait a second. Did he just jump off the edge of a cliff?
Dogma 1, but also throw in some Tears of the Kingdom. Why not?
You do jump off the edge of a cliff. Okay. I was wondering how he was just free falling. Knowledge acquired, pros wings, quest complete. Oh
It
my
almost
God.
sounds too good to be true, and in a lot of these trailers, it looks very good as well,
Huh.
and not just in a trailer way, if you know what I mean. There is a ton
Nah,
of footage
I'll
out
have
there
to get
besides
this.
this 50-minute friggin' gargantuan gameplay demo, but some people have had a chance to sit down and play the game at events like Gamescom, and impressions are very good.
So, Brutal, and I love it.
There are
Okay.
a few warning signs, which I will get to later, but from everything we've seen and heard, there's potential for Crimson Desert to be an actual, like,
Like, it could look better graphically if it's been in development for a while now. Not gonna lie.
dream game, like one to actually watch out for. Like, I don't mean like the day before type crap here. It's not what we're talking about. The developers aren't nobodies either. The game is being made by Pearl Abyss, the Korean developers behind, no surprise here, Black Desert Online. They're also the
Okay.
same guys who are working on a Doke V game that's currently floating around in Vaporware land, but only because reportedly the developers pulled everyone off that game to finish work on Crimson Desert. The one thing you
Oh.
have to hand it to these guys is they're ambitious, and it shows in every frame we've seen of this
Ooh.
game. If there's one thing that stands out to me right away, it's the level of detail and draw
Nah.
distances. These
Oh.
environments are, they're absolutely massive. They look a lot more natural than what you normally see in open world games, too, where there's
True.
tons of little points of interest carefully designed to draw your attention. In that way, Crimson Desert looks a little more empty, but a whole hell of a lot more realistic. Obviously, we don't actually know how everything ties together in the end, but there's combat, stealth, there's boss fights, and it appears like there's also crafting and loot collecting and a whole lot of exploration. The meat of the game seems to be the combat, which is what they've shown the most of, and it looks spectacular. I can't quite pin down what the fighting most reminds me of, almost like a cross between Ghost of Tsushima and how fast and brutal it appears to be, with a little Dragon's Dogma, with all the physics stuff going on where you're throwing guys around and climbing on the backs of monsters, with some Gonzo no more heroes stuff. There's wrestling moves in this game, and at one point, it appears your Norseman character has some kung fu moves. In the 50-minute trailer, there's a part where you grab a guy and swing him around. It looks nuts, but most importantly, it looks fun.
Nah. The fighting in this game is gonna be lit. Like, there must be like different options to spec in it too. Cause that definitely looked cool as fuck.
There's also boss fights too, and they also look
Whoa.
really good. A little more conventional than the big brawls we've seen in the trailers. I mean, there's some crazy stuff in there too. I mean, did you see the Da Vinci tank looking thing? Or what looked like a robot? Like, this is a fantasy setting that's not afraid to get a little weird, and I'm pretty happy about that. The
Is that a mechanical dragon? No.
real fun is when you're taking on big groups, grappling guys to the ground or kicking them off of ledges and doing spin kicks to stun shield guys and creating an opening for yourself. It all controls like a Souls game from what I'm seeing in the trailers. R1's light attack, R2's heavy, L1 is block, circle/B is dodge, that sort of thing. But there's a lot more you can do. There's a clip where we see the main guy pole vault over a wooden pallet.
Okay. Maybe the title for this video was correct. This open world action game wants to do everything. Because I don't think I've ever played a game where you can vault over a wall like that into enemy encampment.
But there's a lot. R2's heavy, L1 is block, circle/pole vault over a wooden
bro,
palisade, and
what?
this other thing where
Nah.
he whips out an explosive arrow and blows up a guard tower, or hell, just knocks down a tower on his own, which comes crashing down on top of a bunch of enemies. It don't
Oh my god.
looks procedurally
I'm getting my
generated
hopes up
and
too much.
happening in real time depending on the game's physics. It doesn't look scripted, and that's really exciting. It looks like you've got a full inventory in this game too, with armor to equip and different weapons to use. The trailers have only shown a few weapons like the normal sword and board, two-handed axe, a bow.
His tricks are getting the better of me. Humans would muddle in my mind.
There's apparently going to be a lot more, though. Yeah, more weird weapons. Like, maybe this game actually has more in common with Rise of the Ronin than Ghost of Tsushima, and that's not a bad thing. The combat and presentation look stellar, but what actually goes on between all this stuff is a lot more mysterious. We know it's an open world. The 50-minute gameplay trailer made that 100% clear. There's
Oh, yeah.
horses to ride, and if some stray dev comments are to be believed, we'll be able to
I take a drink and this nigga just drifting on a horse.
ride. There's horses to
Like who did
ride, and if
this nigga
Some straight
drifted
dev-
on a horse? Nah.
comments are
need
to be
this game now.
believed, we'll be able to ride donkeys, camels, elephants, and oh yeah, a dragon. There's a part of one of the trailers where your guy is clinging onto a dragon while explosions are going off everywhere. So that sounds cool. You can even engage in a little Grand Theft Auto and steal a cart. In terms of activities, we don't really know a lot about. There's definitely side quests. They look kind of Witcher inspired. Maybe a little Red Dead Redemption 2
I
energy
gotta
to them
get
as
this
well.
game.
A lot of walk and talk and cutscenes and stuff.
Oh, come. He said you'd want to see him.
Yeah, I need this game now.
Is this man a prophet?
In terms of activities,
Is
we
this
have
not a
seen
profit?
arm wrestling, sheep wrangling, gathering resources for crafting, playing a flute, riding a
my
blimp, and
gosh.
some seriously impressive Tears of the Kingdom inspired free falling, just in a significantly more complex and detailed game world. Yes, there are floating
Wow.
cities, and
What?
you do have the power to glide at will.
Not only is there open world on the ground, they added floating cities for you to venture to.
And explore these floating structures.
If this game comes out and there's no bugs in it, I'm gonna be so surprised.
There's also some kind of magic that allows you to manipulate the environment in some way. It's unclear how it works. It's
Holy
unclear how a lot
fuck.
of stuff works. But one exciting thing I did notice is there does appear to be puzzles to solve, and even better, proper dungeons to explore. It's not just
All right.
smacking guys in open fields. There's dark interior spaces as well, which is something that not enough open world action games have. Like, it's sorely missed. One thing that may be disappointing to hear about for RPG fans is, although there does seem to be plenty of RPG stuff here, there doesn't seem to be dialogue options of any kind. And
That's
the story
fine. I
seems
don't care.
primarily told through cutscenes. There's also no character creator, which is probably disappointing coming from the
I don't
Black
care
Desert
about that.
Online guys. They made one of the best ones in the business, but no.
Maybe I
Over
do
playing
care
Dollar
a
Store
little
Jon
bit.
Snow,
Just a little
otherwise
bit.
known as Cliff McDuff. Yes, that's seriously his name. I don't know if it's stupid or genius. Yes, that's seriously his name. I don't know if it's
Cliff
stupid
McDuff.
or genius, but
McDuff.
it may not be the best story you've ever heard. I don't think I care so much. The presentation looks excellent, but at least in some of the trailers, Cliff is a big nothing of a character. There's just not much to get excited about with him, and a lot of the story we've seen so far just doesn't seem particularly interesting. The lip sync and overall translation seems a little awkward. Not terrible or anything, but not the most high quality translation work I've seen, and certainly not the most high quality stuff I've seen in the game.
I've my own mission, seeking out my Greymane comrades. I'll do what I can to help, but make no promises.
That's more than enough. Until we meet again.
But also,
If someone really cared about the lip sync that much to the voice, and it's like that, you're barking up the wrong tree here. Like, I don't really care about it. Just give me a good game.
so we're a pretty long way out from this thing actually coming out, and this could all be very different in the game. And who cares if the
You're
story's
saying it's a
forgettable
while
if
till it
everything
comes-
else is
Yeah.
great, and everything does look great. Some of the earlier trailers seemed a little too hard on the special effects, but the recent gameplay showcase is a little more toned down. It's also concerning how much they're pushing boss fights in the trailers, at least the more recent ones, because this isn't just a linear action game. There's going to be a lot more to do, but that's probably just because they're saving all that other stuff for later. We've seen a lot of little glimpses at open world content and activities, but I'd like to get a better idea as to what's actually going on outside the story quests. The worst possible scenario is that the open world is huge but empty, which I don't think is going to be the case, because with how little they've shown, the red meat of the game is still a big question mark, which feels wrong to say because seriously, the trailers have so much going on that it's almost impossible to talk about everything. They just bombard you with one crazy thing after another. I cannot stress just how good this game looks from everything they've shown us.
Looks so
The
good.
environments, in particular, I might add, are incredible. I've already gone on about the impressive scope of the environments, but I cannot undersell the effects and how naturalistic everything looks. It's practically Rockstar-esque. The production values here are through the roof. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. At first, I thought the graphics were bad, but then as I'm watching it more and more, I was just judging too much.
it looks like an
It's perfect
obscenely
for what it's
expensive
trying
game,
to do.
and hopefully that pays off for them, because in isolation, a lot of these ideas seem safe, but when you put it all together, it's so ambitious, the entire thing is in danger of collapsing on itself. Even if a lot of these mechanics are more surface level than the games that it's taking inspiration from, there's still a lot of complex stuff going on here. The Dragon's Dogma inspirations are especially exciting. It doesn't just make the combat look more dynamic, it makes all the little things you can do in between fighting more tactile and engaging looking. Like this part of the 50-minute trailer where the main guy puts out a fire by throwing water barrels at it. That's the kind of stuff I want to see more of in open world games.
Got to get them out quickly.
It all looks spectacular, but there is the danger
got
of
to
feature
get them
creep
out
here.
quickly.
Like, we know the devs just keep pushing the game back, which points to either intentional deception, which I don't think is happening, or a game that doesn't have a clear plan. It's been delayed at least 3 times already, and quarter 2
No.
2025 sounds fair.
No. There would be multiplayer though. That sounds. Oh my! If you can do multiplayer for the campaign and side quest, that'd be cool.
Because the game looks like it's just about done. Previews from Gamescom tell another story. Not that the game is broken or buggy, but that certain weapons are just straight up in game. 2 2025
Crimson Desert?
sounds fair because the game looks like it's just about done. Previews from Gamescom tell another story. Not that the game is broken or buggy, but that certain weapons are just straight up incomplete, like they don't have movesets yet. And while that doesn't necessarily speak to where the game is now, because demos tend to be behind on features compared to the actual game that they're making, it's one of those warning signs that maybe the game isn't quite as finished as it appears to be, though. Now, for me personally, I say let them keep working on it as long as it takes.
Wait,
It
did
as finished as
somebody
it appears to
throw-
be, though. Now,
Yeah,
for
he
me
threw the guy
personally,
towards him.
I
He
say
said,
let them
yeah.
keep working on it as long as it takes.
Oh my
I'll
God.
always take a delayed game if it takes longer, but is like great over a
this the
rushed
multiplayer?
one.
There's-
It's easy to
oh
look
my
at a game
God.
like this and just dismiss it and say it's too good to be true. But Pearl Abyss is a real developer. They've shown a lot of the game. It looks very good, and overall impressions from the people who have played it, they actually like it and say that it's good. Could it
Oh
be
my
bad?
God.
Sure, that's a possibility. Maybe the open world's barren, maybe the story drags on, maybe the
Bro.
combat's repetitive. I don't know. The last one probably won't be the case because, I mean, look at it. If there's anything to get excited about, it's the combat.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm looking forward to the combat mostly. I hope it comes out next year.
From the 50-minute demo, there's a lot of dull traveling back and forth, like a dangerous amount of walk and talks. We're not a lot of interest was said, but this is also all early game stuff. Like, they're not going to give away end game crap. We're not going to get the dragon riding in hot air balloons right away. It's one of those games where I'm excited for it, but in the back of my mind, I'm prepared for it to be bad. Kind of a natural defense mechanism by being burned too many times by games that look crazy promising in trailers and demos. But, you know, underwhelm when they finally come out. I think this one has better than average odds of actually being great, though, and the opportunity to be the next big IP from South Korea. I mean, if Stellar Blade can hit it big, why not Crimson Desert? And that's all I've got for you today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. We upload brand new videos every single day, so the best way to see them is, of course, a subscription. And don't forget to enable notifications. As always, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time right here on Game Ranks.
That was a great video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to Crimson Desert now, seeing that. And I hope you guys have a nice day, night, or evening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.